The animated comedy gods have officially compared Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage to Hitler and the Crusades. And yes, you heard that correctly. Your ears aren't broken, just your faith in humanity. Because apparently, when you thought 2025 couldn't get any more bonkers, Seth MacFarlane said hold my animated beer, and decided to drag the Sussex brand through the comedy equivalent of a medieval torture chamber. Welcome back to Royal Cookies, where we serve up the juiciest royal gossip with a side of heart-wrenching humanity. Please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. Now, before we dive into this rabbit hole deeper than Alice on a particularly bad day, let's set the scene. This isn't Family Guy's first rodeo with the Sussexes. They previously ridiculed the couple in a 2023 episode over their Netflix deal and Instagram endorsements. But this latest episode? This is like bringing a nuclear warhead to a water balloon fight. So here's what went down in the July 17th episode that's got everyone's knickers in a right proper twist. The show features characters Brian and Stewie going back in time, because apparently time travel is easier than finding decent writers these days. But I digress. In classic Family Guy fashion, they're discussing historical disasters, and someone pipes up with examples like, the usual suspects, wars, plagues, that time someone thought pineapple belonged on pizza. But then, and here's where it gets spicy, Stewie adds Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle to the list of historical catastrophes alongside Hitler and the Crusades. I mean, Family Guy comparing a royal wedding to genocidal dictators and religious wars? It's like comparing a paper cut to getting mauled by a bear while being struck by lightning during a tornado. The audacity is so astronomical, NASA could probably spot it from space. But wait, there's more. The program immediately cut to Harry seated on his sofa, watching the episode unfold, showing him getting defensive about the comparison. Because nothing says we don't care about public opinion like being triggered by cartoon dogs. Am I right? But hold on to your tiaras, because this animated assault didn't stop there. Oh no, Family Guy was apparently feeling particularly savage that day, like they'd had their morning tea spiked with pure liquid controversy. The show also depicted Harry and Meghan, dubbed the Prince and Princess of Canada, being booed by the rest of the royal family because they had been bashing the Canadian monarchy. Because apparently, even in cartoon land, geography is optional and logic is just a suggestion. And here's the kicker that had me nearly choking on my Earl Grey. The couple was shown on a TV talk show, where they walked out chanting, "We want privacy." The irony is thicker than clotted cream on a scone. People. It's like complaining about paparazzi while literally broadcasting your life on Netflix. The writers didn't just hit the nail on the head. They demolished the entire hardware store. Think about it. They've done more interviews than a politician during election season, signed deals with more streaming services than your average teenager's subscription list. And yet they're chanting about wanting privacy? It's like opening an umbrella in a thunderstorm and complaining about getting wet. The cartoon creators have essentially held up a funhouse mirror to the Sussex situation. And honestly, the reflection is uncomfortable enough to make a vampire squirm. Now, before you start thinking Family Guy is just having a particularly mean-spirited moment, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a comedy epidemic. Other animated shows, like South Park, have also taken swings at the Sussexes, portraying them as publicity-hungry hypocrites. It's like the entire animation industry had a secret meeting and decided, you know what? Let's collectively roast these two until they're crispier than Sunday beef. But here's what's fascinating from a cultural standpoint. When multiple comedy shows start targeting the same public figures, it usually means they've hit that sweet spot of public consciousness where they're simultaneously famous enough to be recognizable and controversial enough to be fair game. It's like becoming the comedy equivalent of a pinata. Everyone wants to take a swing. The thing about animated satire is that it's often the canary in the coal mine of public opinion. When South Park, Family Guy, and presumably half the animation studios in Hollywood are making the same jokes, it suggests there's something in the cultural zeitgeist that's ripe for ridicule. And let's be brutally honest here. The Sussex brand has provided more material for satirists than a Christmas cracker factory. Every interview, every Netflix special, every carefully orchestrated paparazzi shot becomes potential comedy gold. They're like the gift that keeps on giving, except the gift is awkward public relations disasters wrapped in designer clothing. The timing of these animated attacks isn't coincidental either. Fox aired the clip this week, which means the writers have been watching the Sussex circus with the dedication of royal correspondence, just with more jokes and fewer respectful nods. Speaking of public opinion, the internet's reaction to this cartoon catastrophe has been more explosive than Guy Fawkes' unrealized potential. Social media is currently split down the middle like a particularly dramatic divorce settlement. On one side, you've got the defenders crying too far and animated assassination. They're treating this like Seth MacFarlane personally invaded Montecito with a tank full of cartoon characters. These folks are arguing that comparing anyone's marriage to historical atrocities crosses a line thicker than the walls of Buckingham Palace. And honestly, they might have a point. There's definitely something unsettling about putting a celebrity marriage in the same category as genocidal dictators and religious crusades. But then you've got the other camp, and they're absolutely living for this animated audacity. They're saying Family Guy is just holding up a mirror to the hypocrisy and contradiction that's become the Sussex brand's signature move. If you're obsessed with royal strategy and environmental impact like I am, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Cookies because we're serving up the most sustainable royal content on YouTube. And remember, in a world full of fast fashion and royal scandals, sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is wear your values on your sleeve, preferably in a gorgeous shade of green. Sophie's proving that environmental activism isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Until next time, keep munching on those eco-friendly royal cookies.